Yo, welcome to Vegabomber land, and today, well, I want you to take a look at behind me. Yes, a plethora of toys. Vintage toys, some new toys, a little bit of everything here, even some stuff that's signed. Yes, signed by the Red Power Ranger. But at any rate, I'm also here with a guest as well.
What's up, guys? How you doing? Matt from Dallas Vintage Toys, and always love doing this. This is fun. Let's
yeah,
ready to talk Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, because we're gonna have to talk Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
At this point, people are making some crazy claims, but first of all, and what was your overall take of the movie?
I like Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought it was funny. Didn't take itself too seriously. I thought it was a good story, and I thought for what it was, what they had to work with, I really enjoyed it. I was definitely my expectations were exceeded.
Yeah. And I'll say it was a summer fun movie. I mean, it came out in August. We already had X-Men Days of Future Past. We had Captain America roll through. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes had come through. Everything had come through, and now it was this time for this movie. I know a lot of people were nervous about it. So it turned out that Marvel had yet another big hit. I think at this current filming, the movie now is the #1 top-grossing movie of the year. I mean, that speaks volumes right there.
That's surprising to me too, by the way, because Days of Future Past is X-Men, Captain America 2 is Captain America, Ninja Turtles, Transformers. So for Guardians of the Galaxy to come in and take that title is very surprising. But it's a good movie, and I think it had a really good word of mouth.
It did. And these are some characters, to your point, I love that. These are characters that no one knew of, a Rocket or a Groot. Or a Gamora, or Drax, or anybody like that, or even Peter Quill for that matter, let alone the type of music he likes to carry around with him. No one even knew about that.
Even comic fans probably weren't too familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Captain America and Wolverine. But you gotta really be a pretty serious comic fan to know Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, you did.
It's true. And so my take on it, I mean, because you had an overall good take of the movie, and I did too. There is a however or a but in here, and that is, I think that the movie was good. Don't get me wrong. I think it was funny. I think it was a good time. However, I'm okay with it. I'm not putting it up there on Star Wars status, where some people said that this is this generation's Star Wars, and I'm like, no way.
Star Wars is this generation's Star Wars. There'll never be another movie like that, or if there is, that's not fair. I really don't think that's fair to Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, that's like, you know, as high praise as you could get. It's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
It's not Star Wars. It's not even the Avengers or Superman.
No.
It's Guardians of the Galaxy. So for what it was, I think knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, we know that, I mean, Star Wars just had more of a story, and I guess what we should do now is just kind of get into the props, and then, of course, we'll get to the eye rolls, the things that weren't that good in the movie, but we'll talk about the props first. And so, you know, Matt, for you, what were a few props about this movie?
I really liked the humor. And it really, like I keep saying it, but it really surprised me. A lot of people say that Rocket stole the movie. I kind of thought Bautista stole the movie, which was real surprising for me. And I think it's a real, what that speaks for is James Gunn, not Dave Bautista, because we all saw The Man with Iron Fists and Riddick, and I don't think it's Bautista. But I think he really got the most out of that cast. He got the most out of that story. He didn't have a lot to work with. But the thing I liked the most was definitely the overall humor. I thought the casting was strong, and I thought James Gunn just directed that movie like... It's a really good example of what happens when you have a good director.
Absolutely. How
you can drag a movie that's here up to here.
I agree.
Not a mediocre cast, but not a lot of huge names, right? I mean, Bradley Cooper, but he's just a voice. So, I think that, like I just keep saying, he got the most out of what he had. You know, he stretched a dime into a dollar for sure.
Yeah, he did. And I would say one of my props for the movies, I liked Groot's character a lot. I guess he's kind of like Chewbacca, if you will, if we're going to try to use some analogies back and forth between these two movies. But I love the idea of him and then Groot being together, and Groot can understand anything and everything he's saying. I thought that was an interesting dynamic, along with Drax's taking everything literal. But I thought Groot, and then just the idea that he was willing to sacrifice himself for the whole group. I mean, how do you not like a guy who's willing to sacrifice?
I never made that connection until you just said that Rocket could understand Groot and Han Solo could understand Chewbacca. I never put those two together until you just said it. Yeah, I definitely see that now.
So I mean, I think that's definitely, and then of course, you know, the humor, we talked about that. So that's definitely a prop for this film. You're going to go in there, you are going to laugh. I think there are some times where they kind of stretch it, but we'll save that for the eye rolls. But was there anything else about the movie that you thought was
that I really liked?
That just knocked it out of the park?
I thought that Chris Pratt was really good. For me, the underrated aspect of the movie, I would say, was Karen Gillan as Nebula. I thought she was really good. I thought she didn't have very much to do in the movie, but what they gave her, she did very, very well. And I thought Lee Pace was good. I'm sure we'll get into Ronan, but I thought he was good in his portrayal of Ronan. The acting was just, it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
And of course, you got to expect, with it being a Marvel movie, the CGI, the worlds that they created from the cinematography perspective, it was really a nice film to look at, and the color palette that they used was very bright. It wasn't dark and dim like it usually is in some of the space movies. Or like, basically, when you think like Underworld, that's very dark and gritty, but this was not. This was pretty warm palette. So let's talk about the eye rolls, because I think by now a lot of people are going, we know, but maybe what you haven't heard are some real good technical criticisms of this film. And I'll start first on this one. Villains have to be great, because then when the villain is great, then all of a sudden the superhero, what he's about to do, then becomes even greater, because you got to see a great superhero take out, you know, a great threat. And I thought Lee Pace was great in terms of who he was, but what he was written in as was very thin. Not much about him, not much about Thanos, and then we didn't get any understanding of what these guys were, what made them so bad. They didn't show us. They told us in one quick line, and that was supposed to be enough to understand the motivation of some super baddies, and I don't know if that worked for me.
Yeah, I agree with what you said too. A superhero is defined by his villain, and our greatest heroes have our greatest villains. Superman has Lex Luthor, Batman has the Joker, and guys like Spider-Man and the Flash have incredible rogues galleries. And I think the better your villains, the greater the hero, because the more he has to overcome. I thought Ronan was a little weak. I don't think I'm quite so hard on it. Mainly because I don't think Marvel has done a great job building up villains for us. I was sort of disappointed in the Red Skull. It was okay, I guess, but it wasn't that great. Loki, nothing bad to say about Loki. Tom Hiddleston is
that's the one that Marvel did get right. They got Loki right, but Malekith,
excellent. But he can't be in every movie. As hard as they've tried to do that, he can't be the villain in every movie. But I thought Ronan, I think we got a little bit of it at the beginning. Kind of showed him swing the hammer, but they cut away, so you just presume he'd went Gallagher on the dude. And pop his head open. And I guess he was scary, but my eye roll for this movie was Ronan at the end. It was funny. It was funny, don't get me wrong, it was funny. But when he's standing there and he's like, Chris Pratt is dancing, and Ronan's like, what? And then he says something, and Ronan goes, what is happening? Like, that scene was, it just totally pulled me out of this movie. And I'm just going, why wouldn't he just smash the hammer and kill her? You know, like, it doesn't make any sense. But, that's
especially the way he threw around Drax. I mean, he threw around Drax.
He threw around everybody,
He was whooping his tail really good, and now he's just going to pause?
Yeah, he wouldn't die. He survived, like, all these different things. He survived the crash and the bomb and all these things. You're like, holy crap, this guy will not die. And then there's a dance fight. So
and that's the part about humor. See, I love humor, but humor has to be well placed. If it's not well placed and well timed, it can actually fall flat. And I know some people thought that was funny, but at the same time, it also took you out of the movie, because it almost like the movie was trying to be too cute at that point. We get it. Peter Quill's he cracks joke. He's a wiseacre. We get it. But at that point, if you really want us to keep the contention going, or the tension going, that Ronan's a bad dude, and somehow this is going to play into the second Guardians, or maybe even Avengers 3 somehow, you didn't make me fear him like the way we all feared Darth Vader the first time he stepped up on the screen
and
did something. See, that's how you do a bad guy. So Marvel, just you own. I mean, at Disney, you own Lucasfilms now.
Yeah.
Just watch
Watch the movies. Right?
Yeah, just watch 4, 5, and 6. Just watch them. So.
Yeah, I definitely think they could have done a little better. But I mean, again.
Yeah.
I don't know, but then I say that, and I'm trying to give them a break, but then they had Thanos in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the most we've seen from Thanos.
Right,
and
right.
it was really... He had one okay scene, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and then, like, one scene where he was kind of hologram. I don't know. I thought they really could have done more. When I heard Thanos was in the movie, I was like, oh my God, I was so... ready for this is our villain for Marvel, right?
Yes.
All these movies are building up to Thanos.
That's right.
They're all building up to these Infinity Stones, and I do like that, by the way, that aspect of the Marvel universe. But Thanos is the bad guy for all these movies. He's the main bad guy, and it was just kind of like, here's your introduction. Okay, a little. I don't know.
Yeah, he was.
Ronan wasn't even scared of him. So why am I going to be scared?
Yeah. And then they could have explained a little bit more about Gamora, being the stepdaughter or whatever. I mean, there was just some pieces in there where I think what Batman Begins did well. Wow, I'm going to go to Warner Brothers. Is that they were able to do enough of a flashback, but they started right with that in Batman Begins by showing Batman while he was training. But they flashed back to show the connection to his dad and the connection to falling into the well and being afraid of bats.
I wish I could tell you how many times I watched the scenes with Liam Neeson and Batman in Batman Begins. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
You feel something when these people, you know what I mean? Like, you're afraid and you feel like, I don't know, like part of Ra's al Ghul is you kind of understand. And does that make me kind of a bad guy? I don't know, but part of that, I never felt anything about Thanos. I was just like, okay.
Yeah, now they have time because they're still spreading it out. However, I think it was a missed opportunity to not really demonstrate on some level the evilness that Thanos could be or that he is. So that's something.
Just like you said with Darth Vader, the minute he enters the room, you hold your breath, right? Because you see that scary, shiny black figure in that all-white background, and you're like, whoa.
And the smog that's clearing out from the doors being
second you see
blasted.
it, you're like, oh, crap. When I saw Thanos, I was just like, he can't even stand up, sitting in his lazy boy.
Yeah, he's got his little pimp cup next to him and all that other stuff. He's looking for his pimp glove, the Infinity
What's up, Ronan?
You know?
You got my stones?
See, that's why you're watching this.
Put the stones on the goblet.
Right. See, that's why you watch this kind of stuff. You are not going to get this commentary anywhere else. So.
Oh, probably not. For sure.
Well, let's move to this station. Now, as you know, at this part in our showing here in Vegabomber Land, what we like to do is we like to then give the movie a review. So if you're new to Vegabomber Land, we have only 2 ratings here, because if a movie's worth spending the money on, then it's worth it. And if it's not, it's not. We don't play with middle ground stuff. Either it's good or it isn't. So in Vegabomber Land, when a movie's worth it for you to spend your hard-earned cash on, we say that movie is blowing up. That's a good thing. Like, a balloon is much more fun when it's got air in it. However, if the movie wasn't good, then we would blow it up the other way. We would detonate that joker, telling you to save your money or wait till Netflix or video on demand or whatever you want to do if you still have to see the film. So, in your view, Matt, Guardians of the Galaxy, even with everything that we said about it, what rating do you give it?
Oh, it's definitely blowing up. It's not on Star Wars level. It's not blowing up to a galaxy far, far away, but it's definitely blowing up the Marvel Universe. I think it's an excellent movie. Go see it. I saw it twice. I had a good time both times. It's a real movie where you can sort of not necessarily turn your brain off, but you come out of Superman or movies like that. Man of Steel just the first one that comes to mind, and you're exhausted emotionally after this movie. Guardians of the Galaxy, you come out, you're laughing, you had a good time. I'd encourage everybody to go see it. Great summer movie in a terrible summer.
Yeah.
Great summer movie. Go see it. Go see it twice.
That's right.
Don't give your money for Transformers to Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's exactly right. And if you were going to buy Spider-Man 2, don't. Just go see Guardians of the Galaxy.
Speaking of bad villains,
oh my goodness, that's bad. And so I also, what I give this film also is I say it is blowing up, because it is. This movie is blowing up. It's got the villain problem, and however, the rest of it you can watch, you can sit back, you can laugh, you can have a good time at this film. And so in that case, on that merit, I want to give it that for sure. And some of you are going to end up buying the DVD, and you're probably going to watch that DVD as much as you watch the Avengers on your DVD. I think it's watchable like that.
I think you could definitely watch it over and over again. It's not a movie that, well, I don't know how much over and over again, but you can definitely rewatch it every couple months, every year, something like that. It's definitely a good one to add to your collection. Like you said, I don't know about Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
But,
right?
Yeah, I'll definitely be buying this one.
And I think you guys will be getting some products from there. Won't there be a baby Groot tree deal?
We're going to have the Dancing Groot. We're going to have the Hot Toys. Guardians of the Galaxy, we've ordered them. Groot, Rocket. It's a Groot Rocket 2-pack. Rocket like rides on Groot. We're going to have Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, the whole thing. We've got the Legends right now. And those are pretty hard to get. But we'll get all the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff we can get our hands on, because it's a really fun, good movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, and I think that's good. And so, for sure, if you're living in Dallas, then you need to go ahead and come on down here right away. Come talk to Sean. Come talk to Matt. These guys have helped me get and recover a bunch of toys that I've had back when I was a kid. I was able to come here and find a bunch of, especially my Black Panther stuff and some of my older Batman stuff. I bought it all here. So if you're not in Dallas, then go online. Go online. You can also find these guys online, and you can still get that one-of-a-kind toy that you used to have. So again, I just want to thank Dallas Vintage Toys for having us in here again. I'm Vegabomber. This is Matt. You can talk to him or Sean or whoever that comes in here, because whoever meets you, greets you at the door, is going to make sure that you have a good time and be able to point you out, because there's a lot of stuff to see in here. Until then, this is Vegabomber, and I'm out. Yeah!
I can't do that.